Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat's Jimmy Butler reveals major problem after third quarter struggles continues versus Kings. It was a stinger for fans to watch as the Miami Heat lost to the Sacramento Kings, 111-110, as Domantas Sabonis made the go-ahead bucket with 0.7 seconds left in the game. Despite being a night of celebration for Heat stars Bam Adebayo and Nikola Jovic being recognized for their medals at the Olympics, Jimmy Butler and others discuss what went wrong and the concerning trend of their third quarters. It was another game for Miami where they played well in the first half but fell apart in the third period, as this one was no different. Despite leading by 13 at halftime, they were outscored 37-17 in the next frame. Butler would say after the game, as he and Tyler Herro led the team with 27 points, that their poor offense dictates the defense, which is what happened Monday night. When we ain't making shots, that's normally when teams start to go on runs, Butler said. We don't get back, we don't defensive rebound it. It is a defensive thing, but for us, it's more offense when we don't see that ball going through that basket. I think that mentally, we have to be stronger and tougher to get stopped still. And I think that's the main problem. That's what you see in the third quarter. Despite the Heat's last win over the Wizards, it has been a constant trend as entering this game, Miami had the NBA's third-worst third-quarter net rating, being outscored by 25.7 points per 100 possessions in the period, per Anthony Chang. When head coach Eric Spoelstra was asked after the loss to the Kings what was leading to the struggles during the period, he would mention how they needed to take a stand. I don't know, we've looked at everything, Spoelstra said. At just some point, you just have to take a stand to say enough is enough with these third quarters. We played a great half again. You know, I feel like we outplayed them in those other quarters, it's just, we're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to figure it out. You know, it's 3 straight games where you have to call the first time out, and it just takes a little bit of the wind out of your sails. But that said, still, it's not all going to go perfectly. I thought we responded much better in the fourth quarter. If you take the lead, go up 5 points, then up 3. You know, you should win those games, and we just weren't able to. Herro, who people had debated his role with the team, had another impressive performance with 27 points as he said to Clutch Points that despite the disappointment, there are still aspects to take away and build from. It will be vital as after Monday, the team will be on a 6-game road trip. I mean, we can always take something from a game like this, Herro said. But definitely have to move on to the next game. We leave tomorrow for a 6-game road trip, and it's an important one. Early in the season, we got to get some wins on the road. As for Adebayo, who finished with 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, he would say to Clutch Points that Miami needs to move on from the result despite how winnable it was while also figuring out the problems in the third quarter. Both, Adebayo said. Short-term memory, but also because we got to move on to the next game. But just remember that we emphasize these third quarters. We have to get off to a great start. Asked Bam Adebayo if they need short-term memory from a loss like this or learn from it. Both, full response, #HeatNation. At any rate, the Heat are now 3-3 as they embark on a 6-game road trip that starts Wednesday night against the Phoenix Suns. In the aftermath of the Miami Heat's 106-98 victory over the Detroit Pistons Monday night, Jimmy Butler is looking ahead. He knows the Heat will play even better next time out. He said the Heat have not hit their full stride yet, but they are working hard on getting there. We are not there yet, but I think we are in better shape than a lot of guys around the league, Butler said. We've always taken pride in that. We get up and down. We get after it in practice. We make sure we are sharing the ball and we've been playing the way we want to play. Butler also said he is going to continue to play like a bully. He is looking forward to playing hard again on Wednesday night when the New York Knicks come to the Kaseya Center. I'm not going to get away from my game because of the way people would like for our organization to play, Butler said. I've got to be on the attack. I've got to find my guys. I've got to guard on the defensive side of the ball. By guarding on the defensive side of the ball, the Heat have been stealing the ball with greater frequency. I love it, you gotta gamble, Butler said. We are gonna get 4 out of 6 balls. SPO, Heat coach Erik Spoelstra, can't get too mad with 4 out of 6. I want all the gambling in the world. That's what I do, and that's what I want everyone else to follow suit. Against the Pistons, Butler had 4 steals, while Bam Adebayo and Jamie Jaquez, Jr., each had 3. The Heat also forced 16 turnovers. Miami Heat's Jamie Jaquez status versus Sacramento Kings revealed. Miami Heat forward Jamie Jaquez will not play tonight against the Sacramento Kings. He is dealing with a stomach illness. Here's the game preview. Game time, 8:15 p.m., ET Where, Kaseya Center, Miami TV, FanDuel Sports Network betting line, Heat -2 vitals. The Heat and Kings meet for the first of 2 matchups this regular season. Last season, Miami swept the series, 2-0, has now won 3 straight against Sacramento, including 6 of the last 8 overall. The Heat are 47-24 all-time versus the Kings during the regular season, including 31-5 in home games and 16-19 in road games. The Heat are coming off a victory against the Washington Wizards. Heat center Bam Adebayo on his big game Saturday against the Washington Wizards in Mexico City. My teammates got me going from the jump, Adebayo said. We're pros, man. Once we see the ball go in a couple of times, it becomes like an ocean. And then you just get in a flow and you just get locked in, it just feels like the ball's going to go in every time for you. Miami Heat could acquire Hawks' $215 million star in dream blockbuster trade. If the Miami Heat hope to compete for a title in the loaded Eastern Conference, acquiring a star prior to the trade deadline is seemingly mandatory. Ideally, team president Pat Riley and the front office find a star ready to contend alongside the age 35 Jimmy Butler while also being youthful enough to continue with the next generation Heat roster. Atlanta Hawks star Trae Young fits this criteria to near perfection. He's 26 years old with an Eastern Conference Finals appearance under his belt. This is why Bleacher Report's Grant Hughes pitched the $215 million guard as the dream target for the Heat. A Miami Heat team with bottom 10 offensive ratings in each of the last 2 years could use a singular shot-generating force more than most. That's Young's specialty, Hughes wrote. He'd make sense as either a running mate for Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo or as the central figure of the team's next era. Young is averaging 27 points and 11.7 assists on 41.4% shooting through 7 appearances this season. With this level of play, Atlanta's front office could demand a strong package from the Heat. The appeal of Young commandeering the offense while Adebayo holds things down on the other end is strong, and the Heat should consider a big acquisition like this if it's clear Butler's time as a focal point is over, Hughes concluded. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Trae Young? Leave your opinion in the comments.